Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judgmo. Welcome to another counter-view episode where we also going to talk about the crisis that Arsenal in, injury crisis. Can they win against Monaco? Are Liverpool favorites for the Champions League now? And is the Conference League helping Chelsea? But also, Man City, I can never imagine that I would have said that. Man City must win against Juventus too. They might not qualify. By the way, they might have to play playoffs. Man City have to win. They play PSG away and they play Juventus away. If Man City lose these two games, they might only have 8 points with the last game to be played. And that would be horrific. But big up everybody that joined us on the Football Terrace. Hit that like button. What a show with the guys, of course, over there. I'm here with G, Martin, Surfer, and Luke. Of course, Martin couldn't make it. He had an emergency. But we replaced him with someone better, which is Luke. So it's always good to upgrade. Always good to upgrade, of course.
I mean, Martin's better looking than me, to be fair, though. So,
well,
I mean,
I'm right here, guys. I'm right here.
I mean, Mancunian way, Martin. Let's get that out in the air. But, I mean, he is taller than me at 5'2". So,
hit that like button, people. Come on now. What should we start with? Man City or Liverpool, our favorites? Who should we start with? People in the chat, let me know, guys. First, if you're watching this now, hit that like button. Get us to 100 likes or 200 likes if you're yet to do so. Hit that like button underneath your live chat. And if you are also watching this in the replay, make sure to like the video underneath the video. Looks like thumbs up before you go on and enjoy the show. Who should we start with? City? People want City. Start with City?
City.
Or Chelsea?
Yeah,
Chelsea?
let's start with Chelsea for a change.
yeah, go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
What start with Juventus being the biggest club in Italy? Okay, hold that. Fraud. Listen, we'll start with Chelsea, to be honest. Maybe we'll start with Chelsea. Anybody here, like, to be honest, think that the Conference League is helping them or not helping them? I really don't know. Is that in helping them being second, helping them perform? Did it help the manager get the players up to date with the system and the way he wants to play? G, if you want to take this, go ahead.
I mean, Surf can really tell us, to be honest, but maybe a little bit because they got more games. They've got games against opposition in which they can kind of experiment. Certain players can get some game time. So there are players, I guess, who are in that Conference League batch of players who can maybe get up to date a bit quicker with the system, with the tactics, style of play, and everything like that. So yeah, it might give them a little bit more rhythm. Obviously, I know not everybody who's in that squad is in your normal Premier League squad, to be fair, but at the same time, it does give certain players that little bit of an impetus. It's just more about rhythm, though, I think, with that Conference League, more than anything. Help is a strong word because let's be honest, man, that's like a Premier League team playing in an under-21 competition. Like it's really not going to do more than just a run out, more than anything. But I can't say that it can't help a little bit for your fringe players, Nkunku and stuff like that. You know, players you might not always play in the Premier League week in, week out, but he can play in that competition, show what he's about. And then when he does come to the Premier League, at least he knows what he needs to do. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, just a little bit. I
think it helps because they've got two teams. If they had one team and they were like, you know, struggling with injuries, then it would be a pain in the ass. But basically, you could run your second squad there, and because half of the Chelsea team are under 23 anyway, it's kind of just like it's a nice easy mode. They can go there and win a nice easy trophy potentially, and it can be
I actually disagree with you guys now. I actually think because Chelsea are performing very well now, I thought they should have been it would have been better for them to play a better competition, because the way he utilizes the Joao Felixes, the Enzos, and everyone now, I think it's better if they played a higher competition. So the player that he uses in the league sometimes, they actually get a better competition. It doesn't help Chelsea to play Astana. It doesn't help these players to play like someone like F9 or what. I think these players might need a better competition. Enzo Maresca's doing his best, but I think it might be better for them to play a better competition.
But is it not good to like win it? Like, you know, like when they say people should win.
I don't think they care
like
about winning
Cup.
the Conference League, G. I don't think they care.
So
Nobody
you think
cares.
if they get knocked out, it won't look bad on Chelsea?
I don't think so. I don't think, as long as Chelsea stay in the top four and maybe maybe stay there and be second or third. I think the Conference League, I promise you there is going to be a backlash for about 2 days and then everyone is just going to forget about it. I don't think any Chelsea fan wants the Conference League and then trophy cabinets. Like, they don't care. It is not as deep.
They wanted it.
as
Every
people
Chelsea
think.
fan, Lewis, everyone said that they expect Maresca to win it. And they
Yeah,
want
because
to
they are
complete
there,
football.
they expect him to win it. But what if Maresca faces, I don't know who's in that competition that can win against Chelsea. I actually don't know. I need
I
to
don't think
check
there is
that.
anyone.
That's
the mad thing.
I think the biggest names are like Fiorentina and Real Betis.
Yeah, imagine if Chelsea faced Fiorentina at some point in this competition and he plays a second fiddle team completely in a home and away and they lose by penalties or by 1 goal. Do you think that, and they're still second in the league and they're performing well and they're like 4 points or 5 points behind the top? Do you think people will be like, oh my God, how did you lose to Fiorentina? I don't think they would care. If it was me, I wouldn't care.
No, but I think it does benefit them because if you look at it, obviously, they're probably not going to win the Premier League. Let's be honest. If they can stay in the top 4, that's an achievement in itself. But for them to actually get some silverware under their belt, then it's a stepping stone for a Maresca. I don't think it's a case of, just call it off because it's a Conference League. It's a stepping
Why did you
stone
say
to their
that it's
mentality.
an achievement for them to stay in the top 4? They are ahead of Man City and Arsenal at the current moment. You don't expect them to stay there.
Yeah, I do. 100%.
Do you expect them to stay ahead of City and Arsenal at the current moment?
Potentially, yeah. The way they're playing, they look like they could do.
Okay, so that is not like it would be good for them if they stay in the top 4 then. That would be,
But it's a unique situation. Like they have literally a second team for that competition. It's not like Copa was not even.
think-
now
I think
they
the
don't. So that is gone now because Enzo Fernandez was supposed to be second team. He plays. João Felix plays. Like Sancho, Palmer, Neto, they all play. The only one, Badiashile plays. Adebayo plays. Like, tell me who are the second team? The only 2 players that are not involved as much in the Premier League are Dewsbury Hall and Mudryk. Even Nkunku plays in the league every game now if he's subbed off the bench.
They hardly start in the league. They get
Okay,
like
but
little.
they hardly start, yes, but I'm expecting Nkunku to start some games as well. Didn't Nkunku start
maybe.
1 game? Didn't Nkunku start the other day?
Yeah, he started. Yeah, because it was a midweek game. He made several.
Exactly, but that's the whole point. So that 2 teams thing is gone now from Chelsea. I actually stopped saying 2 teams.
I don't think so. I think it might be gone. I think it might be gone because obviously after
Today it's gone until January.
We don't play the last game until because we only get six games in the group thing in this competition. So the last one being middle of January. So that this European thing is not going to, the 2 teams thing is going to stop for about a month or so, and then it moves on. But listen, I think it benefits in the way, like for instance, we're playing like 3:30 tomorrow in the afternoon. I don't think he's hardly taking any like other big stars there tomorrow. Got a game on Sunday, and
because it's in Kazakhstan.
Exactly. So, and we play on Sunday at 7 p.m. So he shouldn't need to. It's going to be a lot of younger youth team players and a few of the ones like Dewsbury Hall, like you say, like Caicedo, that are going to play. I think it's helped him. I think it's helped him in terms of trying to find out if the guys he does put on the bench can perform well, like you said, and Nkunku, Felix, but give them minutes as well. So if he does need them in the league, at least they're a bit fresher, up to speed. They can go on and not going to look leggy and stuff like that. And I think, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish the point. I thought you.
No. I think it has benefited him in terms of being able to play his strongest lineup in the Premier League as much as possible. Or what
I want to ask the question: why are Chelsea performing good? Man City and Arsenal are not performing good. What is the difference between Chelsea now? Forget Liverpool. Why is Chelsea performing better than Man City and Arsenal? What?
I think. Can I just say this? I think you one of your true statements were that you said we're not playing in a tough competition in midweek.
Okay.
That if we were playing in the Champions League, we probably wouldn't rotate as much. We got to be honest, right? We wouldn't rotate as much. We might pick up more injuries and stuff like that. So I believe that doesn't help. I also believe that I know Man City won a lot of trophies, but if we lay back, I don't think their recruitment's been good the last 2 summers, and Arsenal's didn't capitalize on.
I think injuries is the key.
Injuries is key though, but injuries is like they've had. I think these 2 teams are now got the same sum of injuries that other clubs have had the last.
But I
2
disagree with you because I think it's recruitment because Lavia has been injured.
That's part of
Lavia in
it.
the first 5 games. Lavia in the first 5 games played 1 game.
Yeah.
Fofana now is injured. Reece James has been injured. Malo Gusto has missed half the games, by the way. People don't realize this. He missed half the games.
Right.
Chelsea have injuries, but Sancho was out for over a month.
Yeah.
So they have injuries. Chelsea are not injury free, but because they recruited and because Enzo Maresca is utilizing everyone, they look like they don't have injuries. They look like they don't have
How many
injuries.
do they have in their squad? How much have they spent?
We don't have as many as
It's not about the spending, look. We're not going to go into the spending thing because Chelsea have spent money, yes, but I don't think the squad is as deep and have good quality as Man City. I would argue that. Chelsea guys, Chelsea have 4 center backs. Am I mistaken? They have 4 center backs. Fofana, Adebayo, Adeshile. Is there anyone else I'm missing?
We got 5. Disasi, Badiashile, Fofana, Colwell.
Disasi, okay? 5. City have 5. Chelsea have 2 right backs. Both of them are injury prone. They have 2 left backs. One of them we don't know even, the Vega. Nobody knew who Vega is. He's like, Rico Lewis is more established than Vega in the Premier League, for example. Right?
Yeah,
in the midfield.
I think, don't get me wrong, there's been some naivety on our side in terms of the recruitment. But
exactly, but it's not only about the injuries.
But it's been anomalies to the injuries because, yes, they probably should have signed a Rodri backup, but one who out there in world football is going to want to play second fiddle to Rodri.
But that's why you got Gundogan, Luke.
But he wasn't expected to play this many games on the basis of Rodri being fit.
But when you
Rodri tears his ACL, boom, he's out for the season.
But when you sign I know that
no one signed someone with the intention of going, oh, hang on, we might sign him just because if Rodri gets injured long term. There was no intention of that.
100%.
There was no way that we could possibly know that Rodri was going to get injured for that long extent. Yes, maybe if it was a couple of weeks or suspension, then yeah, Gundogan comes in and fits the role. Or you've got Kovacic in there to cover.
I don't think they're related at all. I think Chelsea's like on its own in an island because they bought all these players and everyone expected them to be better than they were, and they weren't. They were bad for 2 or 3 years. I don't know how long it was there with Potter now.
Got a free hit as well because of how bad they've been.
Yeah, they've got the 2 most expensive midfielders in the history of the Premier League, right? And they weren't playing at the level, and now Maresca's got them playing at a good level. And I think that, you're starting to see the potential of that team. Poch, I believe, deserves a little bit of credit for what he did towards the end of the season, and that'll boil Chelsea fans' blood. But Maresca's carrying on that work. And look, they had 45 players or something in preseason. Everyone was making jokes about it. They got a lot to choose from. They chose the best of the bunch. They're managing their players well, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. Arsenal,
I think that's where credit has to go to Maresca as well, because Maresca has been quite level-headed and just said, right, I've got a squad of 23 that I want to work with. That's it.
There's Lewis.
But
I think,
Go ahead, Luke.
Pochettino was trying to... Pardon?
Finish the point. Sorry.
No, I think there's got to be credit to Maresca as well. He's identified who he wants to work with and done it. You've had the likes of Sterling and stuff that were in and out of the squad last season. Yeah. Obviously on the fringes, Pochettino kind of shoehorned him in at times and shoehorned other players in to kind of keep players happy with, like Martin said, with the 45 that were potentially there. But Maresca has now kind of filtered that down to be like, right, 23. I know. And I think that's where Pochettino had the issue last season, probably, because he didn't know who his best 11 was and he was trying to fiddle and pick players, hit left, right and centre, whereas Maresca has had a chance pre-season to identify, pick him, and now it's starting to fruition to kind of what we're seeing now. But I think it's gone under the radar a little bit in terms of the amount. I'm not going back to it, but I'm just going to highlight it, the amount spent over the last couple of seasons because of how bad they have underperformed in the last couple of seasons. And because they're now performing, people kind of just brush it off and they're like, oh, well, this should be it anyway.
Yeah, well, that narratives are going to change, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? It was like, but it was mocking.
If you start winning things, then it's going to become, look how much you've spent.
Last year's right because, you spent all this money on trash. Now it's, you spent all this money, you should be up there. So it's like, you can't there's no middle ground. There's no middle ground. It's like, well, they were trying on a minute. In May they were trash. In December they should be in the title race. I mean, you're right. It's all down to, listen, a huge chunk is down to Maresca. He is calmed everything down. He's gone in there and he's basically done. I'm the boss. It's me. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. He doesn't want to be there. Doesn't want to be a camp guidance counselor like the last guy was. Try and be everyone's friend. He takes responsibility and he challenges the players without throwing them under the bus. Do you know what I mean? Challenge everyone, even like ones like even Palmy can be better, Sancho can be better, stuff like that. But he's, he makes changes during game. The other guy didn't. Do you know what I mean? He didn't know his best to like 32 games into the season. This guy probably.
You can say his name. You can say.
No, because I don't want to.
You're like Voldemort at the minute.
Yeah. Don't
Like,
say the name.
Don't
Don't say the guys. I don't want. No, this is more for Lewis in the chat. I
He
don't want
who
him
must
to
not be named.
I don't want him to like start typing out
Abracadabra.
stuff. You know what I mean? This is Mo's channel. We don't want that. But no, with Poch. I think it's also expectations, right? I think we're right to like go under Poch because he had like a history of like doing so well and stuff like that. He disappointed, but for this guy, even myself, I had us finishing 6th. The big issue for me was the coach. I have no idea because I've said this before. No one's going to tell me look what he did at Leicester and try and apply it to Chelsea because it's totally different. We're talking about the Championship here, the Premier League. It's not the same, right? And I think I had the right to doubt what Maresca could do, but he's also like you said from the start of the season. Doesn't BS anyone, but look how he handled the Sterling thing. No, you're gone. You're out. You know what I mean? You're done. Put his foot down.
Martin, thank you for that. They have an amazing player on their hand that's helping them winning the Premier League at the current moment and the Champions League. It's a scam. They're literally on a scam on Chelsea. Absolutely.
I just figured out who we are.
I think Bali and
they scam Chelsea.
Bali.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they scam Chelsea.
No, do you know who we are, Mo? I just figured out. We follow Benfica and the way they scam people for players. we're Benfica. I mean, we get.
No, I've been given.
You know what is astonishing? Before we go on, that is like it's ridiculous that he got him out of the squad and Arsenal took him like willingly. I'm like, yeah, we'll take the guy.
I will never forgive that man for Leon.
Everyone hates Sterling.
Anyway, we're not going there, Luke, but you don't know my opinion. He's the most overrated English player ever in the history of the sport.
I wouldn't call him overrated.
He's guys, I've done many shows about this. He's the most overrated player. He benefited a lot from Pep's system. And if it wasn't for Pep, his talent is so limited. The guy, his football IQ is very limited. With all due respect,
but Mo,
Pep Guardiola is a genius, and he got the best out of him.
That's what I was but Mo, we can apply that context to some of the best players you've ever seen play football.
Like
you've only ever seen them.
Like who?
You've only ever seen them in one context where you can say
he's going there and he doesn't know what's coming. But go ahead. He doesn't.
No. I'm just saying.
Go ahead. Give me names. Give me names.
There's players. Okay, a prime example I would say is Mohamed Salah or a Sadio Mane. We've seen them in one context where we called them some of the best players in the world. These are players who play for my team. You've seen.
Is Mohamed Salah performing today?
No. In one sense,
is that a new manager? Is that a new manager? Yes.
I don't think he's performing any better than he was previously. But
that proves that he was performing under Klopp the same as performing now. So it's not.
And then you look at then we look at Sadio Mane, for example, who's now in Saudi Arabia doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like there are a couple of players that you could.
You watch Sadio Mane and you think Sterling and Sadio Mane are similar.
No,
that's a crime, G. That's an absolute.
No. But I mean, in terms of we look at the career trajectory of Sadio Mane, who went from Liverpool, Bayern Munich, now he's in Saudi Arabia, and when he was at Bayern Munich, he was awful, so bad that they had to let him go after one season. That's a player that people. I think he came.
Sterling is already unplayable.
We're gonna. I don't want to go into the Martin. I don't want to go into the Sterling thing again.
You started this.
No. I'm not saying that Sterling is amazing, but I'm just saying you can apply that.
You bought Sterling out.
This is it. You can apply it to other players. You can't just say. I mean, if a player is amazing for one manager, that's good. No, like if he was poor, we'd say we'd be getting onto him. Like, shouldn't you be happy that he was really good?
I just have this thing about a majority of Pep, that a lot of the Pep in his history, a lot of the players that played with him, I have this thing about them. It's just me since 2009. Like he is absolutely a genius in bringing the best. He makes superstars. Like,
but Arteta was also the assistant manager when Sterling was cooking at City, and Sterling has said that Arteta helped him a lot with scoring goals, which was his big issue at Liverpool. He just never scored goals, but he was very.
Why can't he
hard
help him now, though?
I guess maybe he's
He
struggling to
doesn't
get game time because he's not good enough.
He's not good enough.
But anyway,
Which is good segue.
Maresca deserves the biggest credit so far this season. at Chelsea,
Yes.
the most.
Conference
I wanted to
League.
give Egbali and Bowley credit before you move on because I've been giving them a lot of stick because they just seem to be more interested with like 8-year contracts and selling hotels.
What happened, Martin? What is going on with Martin? He's praising.
They've actually picked a very good guy in Maresca who
And the two
was
directors
underrated.
as well. They helped pick the manager as well. So the two directors.
What's
Well,
going on? You're
I'm
right, bro.
speaking the truth, like always.
Yeah, he is.
Always.
He is.
Always.
They deserve credit.
Conference League is low stakes competition that is still giving experience to young players. They will know what pressure is cooker of small ground is. They will know what the pressure cooker of a small ground is. Okay. I just asked the question because I didn't know, my guy. Do we think Chelsea can win the Premier League? Anybody think that Chelsea can win the Premier League if Liverpool are there?
Yeah. Just again.
Who said no? Who said yeah? Why no? Why no? What is going to stop Chelsea from winning the Premier League?
I think Liverpool are just too far ahead. I can't see Liverpool at the minute dropping points. And it pains me to say that because of all the title races that we've had with them. But they're just grinding out results. You know, the Newcastle game where it was
team in the world right
2-1, right? They get to 2-2, then 3-2. Potentially should have been maybe 4-3 down if the ref doesn't blow the whistle. But they're grinding out results. They're getting them. And I think no other team is doing that at the minute.
So do you think we can continue doing that?
My thing is about Chelsea won't win the league is because he hasn't done it because we'll outscore the smaller teams. But our goalkeeper will cost us in the big games, and he already has done 3 or 4 times against Man United, Liverpool, and Arsenal. He's cost us in every single game.
Grateful we played you so early on in the season, the first game.
I was just saying, I want to get to... Listen, I know we've got loads of games, but I want to see what you're like. 25th, I wish it was like this month we played you instead of like next month, because I think we'd pull off a result there at yours at the moment. The way you're playing, the way we're playing. So
we'll wait and see. We need to survive till January, and then I think
that's unbelievable. I think you've had saying we need to survive till January.
We need to at the minute. We need to. I'm always a happy clapper, but there's a level of realism and a level of delusion.
As long as you've got Haaland and KDB, like I feel like you guys will be.
That's what I mean. I think for me, if we can keep KDB in the squad, potentially bring Grealish into the middle, which I'm excited for. We just need legs in that middle, and then I think most of the issues disappear.
Yeah, I think your problem is Pep is so stubborn.
I don't think it's stubbornness. I think it's a kind of
idiotic.
Needs must at the minute. The number of injuries we've got, we have no one else. We physically
but he's changing things. Like, look, I think I watched you. I think I watched you,
and it was.
I watched you on after the Saturday game, or you were Martin, and you were like, "Why didn't Nunes play in the midfield? We had no idea. We really needed legs. He had Nunes there, and he just chose not to play him. He said Jack Grealish.
No, he played him on the left.
Why didn't he play him in the middle? Why didn't he play Grealish from the beginning of the game, and then he's backtracking after the game and saying that Jack Grealish was tired?
No, we got told prior that he did have a knock,
but he played and he didn't look like he had a knock.
Whether or not he was,
for example, Doku was good, and then after the game, when the journalist asked him, Pep, why didn't you start Doku? Because he had a knock. This is revisionism.
We're playing players at the minute who are potentially having painkilling injections, running with knocks because we need them. You know, I'm not using excuses here, but it is like tough.
He can, like, say for example, the Grealish situation. Maybe he thinks the Grealish situation only works when he's got the right defenders behind him or something like that. Like, it's more complicated than just like, yeah, this player should be playing here because of X. He's got like a million things going on in his head. Everyone knows that. That's why he had those scratches and all that kind of stuff.
So it's like Saturday, the right-hand side was non-existent. I'm not going to say his name because I've already been grilled for calling him out. But
who? You're talking about Kyle Walker? You're talking about Kyle Walker?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Walker is finished for some reason. Whatever
he's done.
Happening.
He's done. I'm sorry, but
I thought that he can. I thought that he can still use his pace and everything, but now
he doesn't have it.
He can't even use the pace. I thought, how can someone within 1 year lose the
We
pace.
we
But he's
started seeing
34,
it.
though.
Yeah, but we started seeing
Yeah,
it.
but
at the
it's
back
1
end of
year. Last season,
season.
he was so quick.
But
That's-
that might
we
started
just that
seeing
might
it
just be one of
towards-
those kind of you see that with so many, like I've seen it with older players before. You will have that like one season where it's like, oh my goodness, but then you're 34. Like I expected him to have this kind
But
of.
I've always
drop-off
said
for a
for
player
me,
like
once his pace goes, he's a championship centre half. Like, no disrespect to the championship, but like,
But then they want to tell us he's the best right back to ever play in the Premier League. Wallahi, that's shit.
yeah, don't get me wrong.
No, but you
You know,
can't
in
then
hindsight,
erase everything
could
he's
overstate
done.
you.
No, you
like,
can't. That's what I'm saying. You cannot erase
How
what
is
he's done
how
over
is
the
the
last 8
best
seasons.
player ever, the best right back ever in the Premier League? When he loses his space, he doesn't have the football IQ. He doesn't have the positioning to adjust his game. He cannot be the best
Because
right
he's
back
had
ever in
one
the
bad
game.
season. Because he's had
I
probably.
mean,
a
we've
bad
seen
18
Rio
months.
Ferdinand
Are
at
you
QPR.
going
I
to
mean,
pull
that
out?
was great. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Are you just going to instantly,
No, I'm not
disintegrate his
erasing
whole
what he
Premier League
did.
record?
I'm not erasing what he did for City, but you can't have the argument of having the best right back in the history of the Premier League, right? If his pace is gone, he cannot adjust. I think that erases what we said about him before. Because
no,
if
no,
Thiago Silva,
you can't
when his
erase
pace is done,
what
this
he
is not,
did.
no. It's it.
no. You can't do that for one season, a race like 6 to 8 years.
You guys don't understand my point. How is the best player? Hindsight is great. You
He's
would
old.
think that the best.
He's
You would
old.
think that Habibi, that.
So
the
are you
space-
gonna say that about Cristiano Ronaldo then when he's come back to Man United and his finishing was
No,
gone
hold on.
compared to what he did
Man,
beforehand?
okay, let me tell you. When Cristiano Ronaldo slowed down, he adjusted his game. That is one of the greats. Mohamed Salah today, he lost a yard of pace. He adjusted his game. This is what separates the very good, the elite, from the okay people. This is what you guys. When we are talking
I
about,
think he should have. I think he should
your
have been
statement,
waned
look,
out the squad a lot quicker.
Look, your statement is what made it for me. When you said without his pace, he's a championship centre half. That means that he cannot. That his football, like, because what makes a football player great are
Because
multiple.
what concerns me is the 2 goals against Palace are basic footballing mistakes. First of all, you do not keep your line. He is far back from the actual line of the defence, keeping them all on side. And secondly, just fucking jump.
And also, Mo, you're conflating Mo Salah's creativity in football with just like being a defender and being fast and a defender. You just got to run and get in between the guy and the ball. It's very
Thiago
simple.
Silva adjusted his game. I don't consider Thiago Silva like
Well, Silva is a
Maldini
special
level.
case. Like he,
But
he's
that's why I
very good
wanted to. If
positionally
you are
with
saying, Martin, if we're gonna consider a
Okay,
player,
okay,
the
Mo, who's
greatest,
better than him then? Who would you class?
I don't
as
know.
a
I
better
don't know. I
right
don't know. Maybe Trent. Trent is better than him. Maybe Gary Neville is better than him
going forward.
because of the
Neville retired at
longevity.
35 though. That's
Okay,
1 year older than Big.
I'm not
Okay.
hearing conversations of Trent compared to Kyle Walker. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Martin.
I
Who's-
am not.
with all due
I
respect,
am not.
can I ask
comparing
you
Trent
something,
to
Luke?
Kyle
Can I ask
Walker.
you something, Luke? Both at their peak, who's the better player?
Kyle Walker.
At their peak,
100%.
Kyle Walker is a better right back than
If
Trent
you want a right
Alexander-Arnold.
back, Kyle Walker.
Bakary Sagna?
If you want a set piece,
Martin,
yeah.
Martin,
Pablo
don't-
Zabaleta.
If I am having a player that I say is only one
Sorry,
aspect
I'm
of his
sorry,
game
but
is
you've even got a
gone,
Liverpool fan in it. Like, come on.
by the way,
No,
if
I
G
think Kyle Walker's
disagree
the
with-
best right back
if
though.
G-
So I'm
if
not
G
really.
disagree with me, that
Ah,
is fine.
boo,
That
man,
is my
bring this
opinion. It's my opinion.
No, that's true. No, I'm not. You know, I'm not going to disagree with anyone's opinion. That's irrelevant. But yeah, like I've always said, Kyle Walker, like Luke's saying it there, like at his peak, yes, the pace, yes, we know that was a major part of his game, but he was actually really good at defending, though. For some weird reason, he has just lost all
It's
of that.
because
now.
his pace allowed him to.
Okay,
defend
so he
that.
didn't only lose the pace; he lost the IQ, the
Yeah, it seems like he's
positioning,
lost
the
a bit of the IQ
experience,
and
which is
position, yeah.
by definition, when players go older, they gain more experience in positioning and where to position your body and how to attack a corner, how to mark, how to tackle. But for
You would
Kyle
think
Walker,
so.
it's the other way
Yeah.
around. When he gets older, he loses the experience. Because G, your statement was, well, he was a very good defender. That means it's not only pace. But with getting older, he lost this. Make it make sense.
Can I
I
just add two
mean,
names?
he's a
Just
right
one
back.
last one.
Like, I don't know how old do you expect right backs to keep going on for. Like,
Oh,
I don't know any right back who
Zanetti,
goes on.
Zanetti going until he's 40.
Okay, so you're now
Inter will keep
comparing him.
right-backs.
No,
What the hell?
I've never said that he's on Zanetti. We're talking about the Premier
But you're
League.
talking the best in the
Premier
history of
League.
the Prem. It has to be someone who's up there.
But who? We've got Gary Neville.
Okay,
we've
so
got Trent.
okay, I'm gonna understand this now. So
Ivanovic,
let me put
maybe.
the statement
Yeah,
after
Ivanovic,
this.
yeah, Ivanovic
Let me
as
put
well.
the statement out then. So
Aspilicueta.
Kyle Walker is there, guys, based on what G said, because he said who's there, because there was a lack of good right backs in the history of the Premier League. Is that good to say?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
I mean,
okay?
yeah,
to
you could
say
say that. To be fair, yeah.
Fine,
But I don't think there
okay.
was that many.
So we agree
Kyle
then.
Walker's been a part of one of the most record-breaking squads that there has ever been in the Premier League. 100 points, domestic quadruple, treble, 4 in a row. And he has been a pivotal part to that. Don't get me wrong, he's probably one of Pep's best ever signings when he came through the door. But like I said on my channel, every dog has their day. Time gets the best of us. And that's what's happened. Time has got to him. And unfortunately, I can say it on here with quite some freedom. I think there is an arrogance to him where he has felt for another season that he could probably play at this level.
Do you think there's an arrogance about? Okay, it's a very good move on from Kyle Walker. Do you think there's an arrogance about Pep that he didn't want to lose the player?
No, I think the club have come out now, and well, from what reports have
They
said,
said now they were wrong to renew him, but at that point, you think there was arrogance that they wanted to keep Kyle Walker, not let him go?
At that time where he renewed, we were on for the treble. It was a case of he was pocketing Mbappe, Vinicius. He did it at the World Cup. There was no questions about anything, but no one could have anticipated potentially the drop-off that he's had. And it is significant. It's like going from, winning a treble to becoming a Sunday League footballer on the piss. It's that significant of a drop-off for me. But I think at the end of the day,
like I said, when you guys renewed him, because it feels like pace is the first thing to go.
But I think what the renewal was in mind was obviously Rico's got number 82. Kyle Walker is what, number 2? I think there is a sentimentality thing that Kyle Walker wanted to hand over the right back shirt to Rico. But now we're questioning whether Rico is a right back or not. But I think it was more just the experience to kind of develop Rico. And I still think Rico will be a top player when he adjusts and grows up and matures.
We'll see. Top player is very hard. I think Rico
He's
Lewis
19 years of age. And he's had over 50% increase in minutes since last season. It's a lot of pressure on the kid. A lot of people are using him as a scapegoat, me included at times, for his physicality. But quality-wise, I will never question the kid.
There's always like a bit of a complication with discussions of right backs and left backs because, like Trent, for example, you could say he's the best right back in the world because of what he brings creatively to the table. Like he's like quarterbacking from there. But do you want that from your right back? Do you want your right back to just be like someone who never lets someone get past you 1v1 and destroys people? There's all different types. Like, Zinchenko, for example, crappy left back, but fantastic on the ball. Everyone just, all they care about is how he is 1v1. But, like teams ask for more than that these days out of their fullbacks, and it's not that.
Do you think Kyle Walker can play for Arsenal? Could have played for Arsenal? No, not right now. Could have been a good right back for you. Looking at your Ben Whites, Timber, do you think he's good? Is it good for Arsenal? Let me ask you, and then G, think about it. Do you think Kyle Walker is going to be good for Liverpool to play for you when you won the Champions League and you're going for the quad? And Andrew, do you think Kyle Walker at his prime would have been good for the Chelsea team? I want you guys to ask yourself this: to always judge a player by, do we think if he steps out of this system or under this manager, would he have been good for my club? And that's how I judge.
Player, so I never wanted him. So that's take me out of it.
For me, for example, Kevin De Bruyne, it doesn't matter if he plays for Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Inter, Barcelona. Kevin De Bruyne would have been one of the best players in the world, no matter what. For example, Erling Haaland, people say, oh, it's Pep and Pep. No, Erling Haaland, as a striker, you feed him, he's going to get you 30+ goals. No matter where he plays, he done it for Dortmund, he done it for Salzburg, so we know the history is there. That is the difference. Like, I'm thinking that there are some players that are very good. Gundogan, for example, at Dortmund, great. Man City, Pep molded him a little bit, but he was very good at City. But he was before that, he was very good. Well, Kyle Walker is good and everything. There are players like Sterling, for example. Do we think Sterling would have got the same output? I'm just giving an example, look. If he doesn't play for Pep. No, that's my opinion. I don't think so.
I agree.
Do I think if Salah left Liverpool and went to play right wing for Manchester City, for example, would have had the same numbers? Probably, yes. That's my opinion as well. It's a very, by the way, it's a very objective, it's a subjective opinion. I'm sorry. It's a very subjective opinion, right? This is just me. Like, do I think if Cole Palmer would have played for City today, would have had the same joy? Yes.
Well, let's just go back to the
Someone in the, can I just address one thing before we go
who
on? Guys,
plays
it's
for England more at right back?
Come on. There's 500 people and we're not even on 200 likes. And someone here is saying the one and only Mozo obsessed with Arsenal. It's 36 minutes in the show and I haven't mentioned Arsenal yet.
Talked about Chelsea.
We've spoken about Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. I haven't even spoken about Arsenal
Generally,
yet.
he's correct, but yeah, you haven't been on Arsenal yet.
Yet. That's the key word.
Yeah, we will get to Arsenal, but yes. And also Diallo, thank you so much for Super Chat. Mo has the memory of a goldfish. Stop erasing history. I would never. He won treble. He was essential to that City side from the right side. They would not have stopped Mbappe without him. He has stopped an amazing wingers. Vinny and
will say, though,
Mbappe.
he didn't play the Champions League final. He didn't start for a reason.
My point about this Diallo, I'm not erasing his history. The history is fantastic. John Stones won the treble for City for that second half of the season, inverted, and it was great and fantastic. It doesn't mean he's one of the greatest in the history. That's just my opinion, to be honest. But Diallo, I don't erase history. By the way, I can't erase history because history is written everywhere. I can't just erase it.
Mo,
and I don't erase it from the conversation.
Going back to your question about whether you would take Kyle Walker, I wouldn't, apart from the last 2 years, because we were quite blessed at right back with like Ivanovic and then Aspilicueta and then Reece James before he got injured all the time. But I could see in those years, apart from the last one or two, he would add a lot to all teams. He would add a lot over his history. He would, you know, he'd make all the teams better, in my opinion. I don't know about Liverpool. I'm sure that because of the creative output that Trent gives, I don't think Walker would be able to match Trent's output creativity. That's the only Liverpool would have to find another way to play.
He's a fucking hospital pass out ball away from.
That's what I mean. So it'd be it's more like it's more probably suits Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea because the way we play our right backs don't really like get a lot the way we'd ask them to play.
I think if Reece James could keep fit for
but he won't.
Years he's got left. He would be one of the greatest right backs.
I'm telling you right now, he's going to end up a centre back. He'll end up a centre back. I'm telling you.
His legs are made of like breadsticks.
Can I? Let me before
he's not built.
We get away from the conversation about the players now, and I wanted to speak. Can we get away? Martin, by the way, I think Martin is way behind in the show. He's talking about the upgrade that I said in the beginning of the show. Which team is likely to turn it around? Arsenal or Manchester City? Someone has to turn it around. You both cannot
Arsenal
be like
kind of already doing it though. Technically, like they're kind of already
Arsenal done it. Apart from the Fulham result, Arsenal have sort of done it. Yeah.
They're getting corners, so they'll keep trying.
I'm not even going to troll. I mean, I actually like set pieces.
Who doesn't when you're an Arsenal
You
fan?
didn't like what I said about panic in the football terrace.
A corner for you is a penalty at the minute.
Well, look, you have a show, and a show needs content. And Arsenal is content. Because talking about Arsenal, I understand it's part of your job, right?
He's done it.
If you can come up with a really good theory that sounds good, like a soundbite, and then just perpetuate it and keep talking about it, maybe it'll come true. I mean, there's this assumption that Arteta's put the handbrake on intentionally. He's trying to play a certain boring way. He's changed everything. I can't fight these narratives. If it's player-based or like availability of players or who we're playing against, how the opposition's playing, I can't control these things. Fulham, they did a very good job. They set up a mid-block. Like a lot of teams that are successful against us, they keep the center jam-packed and they make you go wide and cross the ball in. So you got to cross it. You got to win corners. You got to score goals however you score goals. And I don't really complain about that. Luke's got his hand.
I was just about to say. I think...
You don't have to raise your hand to talk here.
I know, but I don't like interrupting. Martin was going for it there, so...
feel free.
I think ever since that 4-1 at the Etihad, Arteta's plan has changed.
4-1. How many years ago was it 4-1?
But that was 2 years ago.
I think ever since then, his
but I disagree with you because last season in the second half.
No,
but last season in the second half of the season, he literally went for it. He was playing sensational football. Amazing.
I think
it was phenomenal.
Oh, come on.
I feel like this in his mind against certain clubs that when he can't go for it,
Okay, football is about balance to me. If I want fluid football, I'll watch Spurs.
If you want to
I'll watch
go and
them-
win the
I'll
league,
watch
you
them
have to
play.
come to the places like the Etihad and go for it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but if you start playing these low blocks,
I think for me it's complicated because I want
I
the team to develop. But look at Liverpool, for example, right? Klopp was Liverpool. Klopp built this beautiful team. They play fluid football. And now everyone's praising Slot for being a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit less gung-ho. You know, these things are praised for Liverpool, but if we do it, it's like, well, what are you doing? Take the handbrake off. Go score more goals. We've scored the same amount of goals as like Liverpool and everyone else. It's not a big issue. What I'm worried about is these 0.03 XG goals that seem to go in pretty much every game against us. Like the Jimenez goal, like Kivior, brain farts. Like I'm more concerned about the defense than I am about the attack. But apparently we're in crisis mode.
You're the first one to say that. You're more concerned about the defense than the offense.
We've got 7
Is it because of
defenders.
injuries?
When you have that many
Because-
injuries in one area, it's a bad
Because of the injuries.
a
situation.
lot out. Are they long term as well, or they're just kind of a few weeks?
The problem is
seem
they
to
come and
be
go.
niggas. Like,
You don't know
one
if
game at a
Arsenal.
time. You play one
It's a bit
game.
like
and
ours,
you're
isn't
out.
it? It's like we get a Kanji back for a week, and then he's got a knock again, and
Yep.
we get
That's
Akir
been-
back for a week, and then now he's out for 6 or 7 weeks. We can't win.
And you got a game every 3 days. You got no complaints. Just got to keep going. So some games are going to be ugly, like Inter versus whoever the hell you guys were playing yesterday. That was an ugly game.
But we were shit.
Yeah, but that just happens sometimes. It's not a crisis. It's just like you pick
It's not
yourself
a crisis
up,
because
you
we're
move
still
on.
in the top 8. But okay, hear me out, Martin. In the league, if you are behind Liverpool by 9 points, it's a crisis, isn't it?
How far are we behind them right now?
6 with Liverpool game in hand.
But they've got to play Everton away, so I don't count that as like a full 3 points right now. That's
So,
maybe like
so
a point.
what is an acceptable difference between you and Liverpool?
0.
Exactly.
I mean, past 10 is for me is the title race is over, but it's still. I'm of the belief that this is going to be a very random season. Liverpool might fall off. Chelsea might go on a crazy run. Aston Villa might win every game. I have no idea, but like I'm not sitting here and projecting from the last 2 weeks for the rest of the season, which what happens most times. If we lose a game, it's like, well, we're going to lose every game from now on because it's like a crisis. I think Fulham, actually, we didn't even lose. We drew, right? We just didn't win the game, which we had to win, and everything is a must win. And that gets a bit exhausting after a while, like feeling like you can't afford to do anything but win.
I still wouldn't count us out.
But you have to win because Liverpool they're winning and you already dropped points early in the season. The difference between you and Liverpool is and Chelsea as well. Chelsea and Liverpool are looking at one game at a time, while Arsenal have to look at the bigger picture. City shouldn't look at the bigger picture. But
we're in a different league. We're the only people in the title race,
bigger
apparently.
picture.
The guys are weird.
Say that again, guys. Sorry.
Why do Arsenal have to look at the bigger picture, but Liverpool?
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because
apparently Liverpool are going for the quadruple in your eyes, aren't they?
No. Forget that. If you ask Liverpool in the beginning of the season, Liverpool have a new manager. They haven't signed anyone. So Liverpool are here because they are performing well. So
do you mean it's just more of a free hit for them too on the back of the
100%?
100%
is a free hit.
where they've came close, not expecting.
Yeah, 100%
it's
a free hit. At the current
Whereas
moment,
us,
Luke,
I think we have enough credit in the bank to have a bad season.
For Man City, it is fine. You can have a bad season. It is okay. Like for you, for example, let me give you an example. If you finish behind Chelsea, it's a failure for Pep, but people will not go crazy, right? Will not go crazy. If Arsenal finish behind Chelsea,
I wouldn't say it's a failure for us to finish behind Chelsea for one season.
Definitely a failure.
How many seasons have we finished ahead of them?
Yeah, but this season with Maresca being a new manager, with the team being inexperienced, I can look at context. But hear me out. Let me rephrase. I can look at context for City if you finish behind Chelsea or Liverpool or even Arsenal. I can look at injuries. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at that. All right?
We've came first 6 out of the last 7 seasons.
But that's why I'm going to look at context for you.
You live in a binary world now where you either succeed or everyone's a failure. That's just how it is.
It's a good way of looking at it. But
I need to present my point first, and then you guys can respond. You even got me finishing the point, right?
No, Luke was confused.
I can look at context. خلاص, I'm gonna. خلاص, you ask the
We have
question.
got
the
How
eight
about
last
you
six-
ask the
got
question?
eight
games
last
six.
How about you
Yeah.
ask the questions? You're
all I'm
Right, let's
saying
do
is,
some super chats.
if we go out of the last 8 seasons, 6 of them we have came top. We have came top 75%.
This is why,
of the
Luke,
seasons.
it will be a failure, but I will look for context for City. What I mean is that I'm going to say injuries, they got the recruitment wrong anyway. Pep will get the money to go again. For Arsenal, because they don't have enough credit in the bank, there won't be no context for them. If they finish behind Chelsea, there won't be no context for them. Do people disagree with what I'm saying?
As the Premier League competition we're in.
I agree.
I agree.
So why
I
is
agree.
it crazy to say that as of now, Liverpool and Chelsea are taking it game by game, free hit season, as long as you're achieving your expectations. Chelsea's expectations were to finish top 4. They're second.
Yeah, but
Fantastic.
expectations change. If you get close to winning the title like we did unexpectedly 2 years ago, the narrative changes to you have to win it now. You got close. When's Man City's going to fall off? No. Man City's going to be back next year. So this could be Chelsea and Liverpool's only chance to win it for the next 5 years.
If we get to, I'm sure G would agree. If we get to April and us two are still top, then our expectations might change, or that should change, right? G, if we get if it's just us two up there, it'd be like we should be homing in on the title, or that we're definitely, the expectation.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's face it, we haven't been in a title race since we won it in 17. G's been in a few title races. It's been a couple of years now. Well, no, I know he's a bit top last year. But no one really thought. No one really thought Liverpool were gonna win it. Really, they were just waiting for Man City to turn off. But I just think, City get the.
I think
City
City
won't say. No one will say City. I think failure is the wrong word. But no one will go. City should have done it because they won it. There's context, injuries, other stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was more a point of if you'd asked anyone. If anyone was to tell you at the start of the season, Man City are going to drop off, who's the team do you think that's going to take the advantage the most? Number one answer would have been Arsenal, right? It would have been Arsenal to take the advantage given the last 2 years. So it's just that's why I think Arsenal would get the most scrutiny and the most criticism if they fall behind.
Maybe
either.
I love it. Give me the scrutiny. Give me the criticism because I'm
You're
just used to it. Whatever we do,
you're a sadist.
Whatever we do is criticized. It doesn't really matter to me.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I'm talking about Arsenal and the players and the manager and the club as a whole. Them as the
but it would still look bad from an Arsenal. Arsenal, I feel like at the beginning of the season, Martin's right. Yes, expectations change as the season goes on. But if you're looking at it as a whole, it doesn't look good from an Arsenal perspective if anybody but Manchester City wins the Premier League this season, because it wouldn't make sense to your trajectory. That means that you've not actually continued. You've not really continued your trajectory if someone else outside of Manchester City.
You've got 2 managers who come in for their first season in Maresca and Schlott. You've got Arteta, who's apparently on phase 931 of his rebuild plan.
I'm not the one who's presenting it, Martin. It's Luke, G, Andrew. Okay.
I'm out of
the show. Here we go. I'm just with no picture. It's not Mo. Because Mo has
looks better like that.
Mo, stop talking.
No, but like
isn't
I thought that would be kind of
squad, like the Liverpool squad full of winners.
I'm gonna do the super chats, guys, in a bit, just because they are related to what we're saying. But go ahead.
Okay, because Liverpool spent the most time at the top of the league last season. They replaced Klopp, but basically Slots come in and just stayed out of the way and let the players cook, right? And
no,
they might rely on Salah for a
but
lot
then that
of
can't be used as an excuse.
It's more than that.
Like we've got the same players as last season, and we finished third. You finished second. So, but surely by simple logic, it should actually have been you guys actually should be.
This should have been the season where Arsenal.
No. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm saying there's the narrative that that Slot has done anything different. Is this not Klopp's team?
Oh yes. No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
And when Arteta won the FA Cup, people just told me that was Emery's squad. He didn't do anything. Now he's not winning.
But now he's got his own squad and he's still not won anything.
Yeah, so we can't judge Slot until he gets his own players by that same narrative, or you give them credit for winning with someone else's team. So we can't have both.
I give credit for Arteta for winning that cup, the run he had and stuff like that. But
okay.
I give him what I think is that now he's now fully overhauled. I think it's only Saka and I think it's only Saka that was part of that.
I think we need to stop. I think we need to stop talking about the cup though. Because
No, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is,
What cup?
he
by
gets
the way,
credit
guys,
for that
I
cup.
think we need to
No,
stop talking about.
Hang on. He gets
Sir,
credit for that cup.
Stop talking
No,
about
but-
the FA Cup for Arteta. That's not enough now.
Let me finish. He gets credit for that cup win. However, now that he's had these are all his players now. All of them, like the squad's been so overhauled. He needs to show some, some receipts. What have we done? 2 second places aren't enough. He needs to be.
I understand the pressure's going to be on us. We have to win something, but the Premier League's not the only competition we're in. We're in the Champions League, we're in the FA Cup, and the semi-finals of Carabao. It's not just Premier League.
Do you think if you only won a Carabao Cup this season and finished, let's say, third in the Premier League and got to a Champions League semi-final, would you class that as like a good season?
Okay, so we need to pointify this system. So I understand what's a semi-final in UCL worth versus maybe second in the Premier League. It's all a much of a muchness. We just need trophies. We need.
No, okay. So let's just say you just won the Carabao Cup. Then would you then just class that?
People won't shut up anyway. They'll just tell me I need to sack my manager unless he wins the Premier League. So if he doesn't win the Champions League, he has to win the FA Cup and the Carabao. If he doesn't win both of those, it's just going to be the same as this.
I don't want to talk about the manager second now. I want to just talk about. So let me do a couple of super chats. They're very. You never walk alone. Thank you so much for the empty super chat. Appreciate you. And Diallo Mo, what do they have to turn 4 wins and 1 draw in 5? To be honest with you, after drawing Fulham, I think Arsenal need to win the next 5 games. Everton at home, Crystal Palace away, Ipswich at home, Brentford and Brighton away. I'm gonna tell you something, Diallo. If Arsenal end the next 5 games with bigger margin between them and Chelsea, no matter what the results are, unless they win all 5, they failed in these 5 games. Let's put it this way.
Just those 5 games fail or fail the whole season?
He's asking about the next 5. He's asking about that. So I'm answering the next 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the whole season. In my opinion, Arsenal need to close the gap to Liverpool, go to Liverpool with a chance to win the league in game week 36, and then we'll take it from there. Very simple. AMT debunk this narrative. Latter stages of Wenger years, attack. Where did it lead us? It didn't lead you anywhere. So I want AMT. Let me ask you something then. I know that you're controlled, and I liked Arsenal of last season. I liked it. And your defense was amazing and everything. At the end, there has to be results. Arsene Wenger was wrong, but you can't say we went from attack to trying to win corners. That's just, there is a middle, there is balance.
Hey, I want long throws.
As you said, need balance, that's all, which is what you said. It needs balance. It needs balance in the middle. You cannot be, it's either this or that. Arsenal, last season, it was great. In the second half of the season, it was fantastic. We enjoyed it. We praised it. Me and Martin did a lot of shows. I thought Arsenal deserved to win the league, but that's.
I think I still have to defend my manager every show.
Forget the manager. I don't want to defend the manager. We just wanna. I really want to put my hand on a couple of questions, which is I'm gonna come to these questions. I know G has to go. Are Arsenal actually playing bad? Everyone can take this question, and why? If the answer is yes, Arsenal are not playing good. Why? What changed from last season? Is it only injuries? Maybe that's the answer. That is the thing. What narrative around Arsenal is too inflated? The narrative around Arsenal is too inflated and obsessed. And do I need to repeat this in every single show? Diallo, in every single show? You are the one with the long, again. I think this needs to be a ringtone at this point. Someone said that the other day. When Mo says this, it needs to be a ringtone. Arsenal at the current moment, let me answer this Diallo again. You are the club with the longest serving manager in the top 5 teams without a Premier League or a Champions League. The top 5 clubs always aspire to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Right?
How many other managers have a Premier League or Champions League full stop in the Premier League?
Okay, let me ask you something. Don't you think?
No, I asked you something. Don't you check the subject?
But that's what you mean. None has Arteta's time.
None. Okay,
None. Arteta is the longest. Again, is this a fact or not a fact? The longest serving manager for a top 5 club without a Premier League or a Champions League. Is that a fact?
I don't know. Is Thomas Frank? They've been there longer.
Top
than
5.
Arteta?
Martin, have some
Top
shame.
five. Oh, okay, top 5. I didn't
Have
know
some
top 5.
shame.
So you've got a lot of like
Have
caveats.
some
here.
shame.
There's
Have
just-
some
Why
shame.
don't you just say there's no other manager that's won the Premier League or Champions League?
Because
except for Pep in the
Brentford are not
league?
expected to win the Champions League or the Premier League.
No, but time does not guarantee any form of success. Like, there's just no like, okay, wait 5 years and then you'll get a Premier League. It's like it could take 6 or 8. How long did it take?
Every year there needs to be some progression.
There needs to be progression.
twice.
Absolutely. But then
Martin,
people
it
argue
doesn't.
that there's no progression.
Let me ask G a question. G, if Arne's not here in 5 years and he hasn't won the league or the Champions League, is that all right? As a football
he's got
club?
3. No, he's got 3, and if he doesn't do it,
And
then
Andrew,
he's got
3. Okay.
Maresca, guys,
Yeah.
it's very simple.
Yeah.
How many times do I need to explain this?
So you need,
Well, it's not that
that's what I said
simple
before,
because
you need
Arteta
to
had
show
2
through
years
your
of his
workings.
5-year tenure
Go ahead,
with a
go ahead.
pandemic where he could only spend $80 million in the first 2
Now
years.
you're
on
talking.
signings.
Now you're putting context
want
into it. I'll
actual
accept it.
context.
I'll accept it. Yes. Now we're talking.
And then the
Now-
other 3 years, he's been challenging, which is the bare minimum I ask for a manager that deserves to keep their job. Other people will say they have to win, but in the context of Man City and everything else, he's dealing with a club which was actually in the mud. I don't know if you guys understand mud, but Arsenal were in it.
She understands. Luke understands. I
No.
understand. Everyone
No.
understands.
No. Sorry, Inter was in the mud?
In the mud.
Recently?
We didn't make Champions League 7 years in a row.
You just won the Premier. You just won the Serie A.
No. Between
and-
2012, we didn't make the Champions League until 2019.
Okay,
I'm-
you're
I'm
a
even
mud club.
making-
Well done. You're mudded like us.
I'm
We
pre-Roman.
came from
I know
a
what
bad
mud is. I'm
position to
pre-Roman.
a position of strength, and people don't want us to be in this position of strength. It scares them that we might actually win a league.
You
so
really,
they want to
Martin,
get
Wallah
Arteta
Alazim,
out.
I love you, Martin. You really think that when
I really think
Mo talks, you really think that I am talking about Arsenal and I'm criticizing Arsenal because I am scared of Arsenal being good? Really?
you are different. You're kind of this neutral entity that also can get triggered and hate Arsenal just as much as any other Premier League fan. I saw you yesterday.
I mean, I
You
have a deep line hatred for Arsenal more than I do Liverpool, man.
But let me ask you something. Do you think when you talk, you are clouded when your judgment about Arsenal by the hatred? When you talk? Like when we analyze, do you think G, for example, is not objective about Arsenal? He's like just very emotional.
everyone
I
has
get
their
it with
bias.
some people. But you really think when we do shows and we criticize Arsenal, we'll try to put our hands on what is right for Arsenal, what is wrong, that we are driven by emotions, not fact, and not an opinion that we really believe in, that we're only here. When most sits on shows and have the court and the session about when do Arteta get sacked. You think I'm doing this because I hate that I see Arsenal doing well and I want Arteta to be sacked for you to go back into the mud? It's good for me for
No, you
Arsenal
need
to do good than bad. The majority of a lot of my viewers are Arsenal fans. I always stated that I want the 5 teams to do well because I want 4 because I don't want Man United to do well. I want 4 teams to do well because I want to see a competitive Premier League. I really dislike City winning the league every freaking year because it's boring.
Yeah, you were mad at us for that too, because you were like, "I need you to beat Man City," and then you dumped on us over and over again because we didn't beat Man City. You got mad that we didn't do it, and then we got all the heat, even though everyone
I
else
think he was
didn't
just
beat Man
mad.
City.
No, I think he was more mad that City won and you didn't beat them. I think that's what he was. mad.
Martin, me and you sat and I praised the offside. I did the McAllister penalty. I raised the Son thing, and I was mad that Arsenal didn't win the league because they played very well.
Okay.
Martin, you remember that?
Yeah,
So.
but then the carry on for that conversation is that how long can we carry on like this?
Exactly,
blah, blah, blah,
because
right? That's
because
the
I
expression.
believe a change can bring something good as well to Arsenal.
It could.
It could, and it could not,
destroy it.
but it could.
I
Is
think
it
the
a
risk-
risk
I
that
don't
you're
think the
willing
risk
to
reward
take?
is there. And
Exactly.
look,
Is it a
I'll
risk?
give you one example. Ten Hag, right? Everyone wanted Ten Hag to keep his job because he was terrible for Manchester United, right? We were praising Pep for like.
No,
that's right, you sent
I
all the
wanted
boys
him.
out
I
there
wanted him to
drunk.
stay at the job, but I literally stated this is for the jokes. Like when I'm
Yeah.
talking, I'm object. I
we
literally
enjoy
stated.
Manchester United being mudded. We wanted him to stay there, keep Ten Hag, blah blah blah. But the pressure is completely different for us. It's like you must get rid of Arteta. You must get rid of Arteta. You must get rid of Arteta. He hasn't won you anything. It's been 5 years. He's spent $800-910 billion. Like that pressure makes me feel like everyone is worried. And the panels that I go on, literally everyone hates Arsenal. Like they absolutely. I think.
I promise you,
immensely
only
fans
Luke
want
here
Liverpool to
hates
win.
Arsenal.
What's that?
Andrew hates Arsenal, yes, but I don't think Andrew is that guy who is clouded by his hatred to Arsenal when he talks about
Andrew's a good
Arsenal
guy.
objectively. I think this panel, this Wednesday panel specifically, I believe it's a panel that was put together to not be just banter, to have
I'm
an
not saying you do
objective
that.
talk.
It's unavoidable subconscious bias that people have when they talk about other
Maybe.
clubs. And I know it's my job here to stir the pot with other clubs when I go on a panel.
I get where you're coming from with Arsenal, but I think for me, the only thing that has been you are a very level-headed Arsenal fan, and I will give you credit for that. And there is some who. No, from what you're saying, I get that, and I think the thing for me is a lot of Arsenal fans have had this entitlement.
I'll show them the text that you texted me after you spoke with him.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'll show them the. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Go ahead. It's a freaking joke. It's go ahead.
I've got my fucking WhatsApp up here. I'll be like, I'll show you on the screen right now.
It's a joke.
You might not want to see the ones on the side that are a bit risky, but you know,
It's a joke.
they're not for public display. But no, I think some Arsenal fans, there's just an entitlement because you've got close twice. They're like, oh my god, we should win it, and that's not me clouded by hatred. It's just there is some who instantly think because of where you've been, you probably should have won it both seasons, but you've just had a juggernaut that smells blood and turns into a shark, and that's what Manchester City have been over the last few years. And I think G can back that up.
Can I ask you something then, Luke? When you go, do you think Arsenal failed then, based on what you talk?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
I think, and that's not me being biased. I think because of how much has been spent, and I'm not alluding to spending, but I think when Arteta has been in for so long, brought his players in that he's wanted, and has not progressed from where they were under Wenger, Emery. Yes, they've won an FA Cup. I don't care whether that was under Emery's players or his.
You don't think
he was there to win it.
They actually, I disagree with you. They have progressed massively, actually.
They've progressed, but not to the point where they're winning things. You know, there has been teams. Liverpool have had Klopp. Klopp has come in, progressed Liverpool to win the Premier League.
Gee, by the way, if you have to go, just let us know, and then
I'll go in 2 minutes.
You know, Chelsea have done it as well within that time frame as well. Chelsea have had Antonio Conte come in, won the Premier League in one season. You know, you're looking at it this season. Arne Slotter's come in, potentially going to win the Premier League in his first season. Don't get me wrong. I think Arsenal are a good side. But there has to be questions asked. What does Arteta need to do to progress? You've come second. You could be potentially third or fourth this season, unless Chelsea bottle or whatever or fall off. I'm not saying they will, but you get where I'm coming from. If they finish second again, how many more seasons are they going to be until it's a stalemate and the club realise this? Because let's be honest, I think if Chelsea were if Liverpool won the league with Slot this season and they dropped off to say fourth next season, I'm not saying G would, but I think there would be Liverpool fans who would be questioning Slot the next season. Do you know what I mean? I think it's with any manager.
Yeah, especially if he gets backed. Yes, if Slot wins the league this season, he gets his signing and gets backed, and then started performing way below the average of them this season. People are considered, what happened? Why are you performing worse when you just sign players?
I just think it's an entitlement from Arsenal fans when they've made all these signings and they're like, oh, we've got Saliba and Gabriel at the back, we're going to win the lot. I think I've seen some tweets saying that.
But I'm not even talking about Arsenal fans. Like, I'm not even on panels with Arsenal fans that often. My pressure comes from rivals, and it comes from Mo, and it comes from Sam. Like, you have the guy Mac on. Mac just admitted that he hates Arsenal fans since 1989 or whatever. There's nothing you can do about that, right? It's just a generational hatred. But I've noticed that, like, now that Liverpool's top, you know, I've got Chelsea and Spurs fans saying you never walk alone, even though Chelsea fans have told me that they absolutely hate Liverpool.
Can you give me their names? Which Chelsea fans can you give me their names?
No, I'm not
telling what you're saying. I want their names so I can harass them.
Don't get me wrong. My deep line hatred will always lie with United.
I think the majority of Chelsea fans, this is what Martin said. The majority of the Chelsea fans would rather Liverpool win the league than Arsenal winning the league if City aren't winning the league or them. Which is fair. They're a London
But you
rivals.
got to understand, like it makes sense because it's
does,
like
London
what Luke is
rivalry,
saying,
right? Like-
because this London rivalry, but it's also, I always think to myself, with Arsenal, not Martin, because he doesn't seem like he does that at all. But when I listen to Arsenal fans, it's that entitlement, but it's the entitlement
What
of someone
entitlement,
who
guys?
you-
Guys, what entitlement?
But that's the point. That's the point, Mo. Is that
I don't think Arsenal fans are entitled at all. By the way,
no, but this is my my pet peeve is that I like Arsenal. I've always liked Arsenal from.
But
way back
I
when,
think
but
what G's alluding to is once they win that one, we will never.
It's just
hear
going to
the end of
go,
it.
and
will
we're
never
hearing
be.
it from a fan base who are not notorious for winning in recent history. Like you're not notorious for it. You're actually quite poor at that. So from when you're not that great in the recent history, you're trying to tell everybody else that yes, you've got fantastic players, Saliba, Erdegaard, Gabriel, you got all of these great players, and they're
It's a
better than
defense
all these
mechanism
guys.
for
I'm
me.
like, Jesus Christ, like you haven't won anything, so you can have all the best players. That's great, but it's not materializing in anything.
but that's not
So no one-
entitlement, in my
Pretend
opinion.
that, like, football only has started 20 years ago when we stopped winning, right? That all of these things are just like
20,
No,
we
but
have
I'm
the
saying
Premier
recent
League, we won
history,
doubles.
recent.
Like
I'm
we
not-
have more than Liverpool in the Premier League
Yes.
era, but Liverpool fans are more entitled than Arsenal fans because you guys won more recently. I don't go around
No,
bragging about
but
stuff like that.
Obviously, in debates, it's going to be
by
like
the way,
that, though.
I have
I'm not going to
not
go back to 40 years ago.
I'm sorry, I have
conversation.
not sat with an Arsenal fan on a panel that said that we deserve something. Ever. Who the Arsenal fans you guys talk to? Like all the Arsenal fans, all they talk about, we have a good team, we're challenging. Maybe you can say they want acknowledgement, but I've never sat with an Arsenal fan that said we deserve anything, ever.
But
Ever.
You said
acknowledgement
the right
for what,
word. You
though?
said the right
Like, what
word.
would
You said
even
acknowledgement.
Yeah, like,
Validation.
for
Yeah,
what?
but,
Like,
but,
what are we
but the
acknowledging?
word
I don't even know.
entitlement, the word entitlement, I'm telling you what the word entitlement.
No,
When
I
I
got
say,
back, I got back.
go ahead, thank you.
Big up,
When
guys,
Man
big up,
United
guys.
fans
Take care, buddy.
say, let me just explain to you. Man United fans sit and say we deserve because we are the biggest club in the world, because we make a lot of money, we deserve to be
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's called entitlement. Chelsea fans, we don't do we deserve because we won the Champions League 3.5 years ago. We deserve. The word deserves it, but
Or just
Arsenal fans
Spurs fans in
don't
general.
say that. I never saw with an Arsenal fan that say we deserve. For example, I'm the only one who say Arsenal, for example, deserved to win the Premier League last season. That is just different, but that's for a different reason. We're not going there, Luke. That's for a different day. But
Doesn't care.
I don't see any Arsenal fans sitting on a panel and say we deserve anything. When?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, my thing with Arsenal fans is I don't really hate Arsenal. I always think the best side I've ever seen in the Premier League, one of the best sides, is the 01-02 double team, just the football they played. That's
Okay.
my opinion of them. But I just like Arsenal when, and I'm sure the Arsenal fans do it as well, but I just think they're different when something goes bad for Arsenal, the way they react. It's just differently than other fans, and it just makes me laugh. I just laugh at them. I don't really hate them or anything like that. I just, it's just one of those
Like
things.
people tell me
Enjoy our
Ty and
suffering.
Igal. I have never sat, I've never seen to defend Igal. I've never sat with Igal and Igal said, yeah, because we're a big club, we deserve to win the league. They never say that.
No, I've
No,
never heard him say that.
Martin never said
But
that.
there is
Igal never said
Standards
that.
FC people that say that we should be winning every trophy.
Okay,
every
that's
year.
different. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
I am not here talking about Lee or Northside, one spectrum, or Ty for AFTV who says, well, Arsenal, who are you? That's
He's
different.
another spectrum completely.
Yeah,
Like,
Lee-
he's not even.
Lee,
Come on.
because Lee seen his side win all the trophies and everything. He's entitled to his opinion that, okay, yeah, we deserve to be winning the leagues. We deserve this and that. That's you. But I'm talking about the people I do here. Like people talk, the majority of Arsenal, I've never seen any of our Arsenal fans are entitled as Man United fans.
That's such a big distinction there because yes, I saw those same titles as Lee, but like I don't expect them to just miraculously appear after 20 years of nothing to just be like, okay, now we have these standards back as if we're Real Madrid. We're not Real Madrid. We have to be honest about that, and I don't think people are. So it's kind of funny. I mean, laughing at Arsenal is like a cottage. AFTV has created this market, and it's still going strong.
Oh, 100.
I wouldn't want it any other way. Everyone hates us. It's fine.
you should want.
Let me
that.
do the
That's why I
super
don't
chats
get
and
it.
see.
Embrace
Let
the
me do the
hatred.
super chats, guys. Let me do this because they're very important.
But I think it shapes the conversation. That's my point. Anyway.
Mancunier and Martin, thank you so much. Habibi, thank you so much. Credit in the bank. You want to tell that to some of our fans, Mo?
They
Well,
are in meltdown.
if some of them fans don't understand that you have credit in the bank. It's crazy.
And I was saying this to Martin earlier off stream before everyone joined. I think this is going to be a season where it's an eye opener for people, and I hope, in a way, if we lose the Premier League,
like your recruitment, right? It's like your recruitment. Because you won things, it sort of covered up the recruitment.
It's a naivety. I will be honest. It's a naivety, but I will always back my club, whether we were, relegated or back in League Two. I've been there from day one, but the day I was born. But like, some have jumped on during the Pep Guardiola bandwagon and have expected this throughout, and it'll be a nice humbler, and it'll.
Do you believe the league's on loan this season and it's going to be Man City's next year, like most City fans? Because
I'd have to wait till the summer.
Okay.
Truthfully,
because I mean, Man City have endless that, and they've
but it depends. If the board is not okay, if the board are not going to go and spend,
we're not going to go and spend stupidly.
By the way, I've been told
right in the market
last summer that we're going to do the rebuild this summer. Blah blah blah. They didn't.
It was always going to be this summer.
Last one,
because
not this one.
Not this summer.
You chased Bruno Guimaraes last summer, and you didn't get him. And
we chased him until June, where the release clause was
and
entitled.
And you didn't go for anyone else. That means they were maybe thinking about a rebuild. But anyway, I actually think.
I think it was more just Rodri cover. It wasn't a full rebuild as per what you will probably see in the summer.
The rebuild already started with Savinho, with Doku.
But Savinho probably shouldn't have played as many games as he has this
with
season.
With Haaland. That is the rebuild, though, because Haaland's still young. People should forget that Haaland's 24.
Yeah.
It's not old. Again, Mo, you are conflating pressure on a manager versus pressure expectations on a club. Yes, there is no pressure on Slot, but there is pressure on Liverpool. No, there is no.
What?
No.
No pressure on Liverpool.
Diallo, you're wrong. There is way more pressure on Arsenal to win the league. Okay, forget managers. Remove the managers. There is way more pressure on Arsenal to win the league this season than Liverpool because of a new manager, no signings, and a manager that has been 5 years, and a team that realistically and factually finished above the other 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, but Liverpool were
now that pressure will increase.
Martin,
you said it. That pressure will increase in March. If Liverpool are 8-9 points ahead in March or February, now people will say you must now. Khalas. You are here, you're there.
Right? You're a big club. You expect a new manager to come in and challenge for the league and win the league every year, right?
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you expect Man United with a new manager? Chelsea are a big club. Do you expect Chelsea to challenge and win the Premier League this season with
anyone who has the financial and the winning nous should be there?
So that's your statement.
Yeah,
your statement that Man United and Chelsea also have the same pressure level.
Man City should all be winning the league every year.
Respectfully,
I disagree. Of new manager.
Did you
I disagree with you completely.
No, sorry. Let me just. Are you saying that now because of how we started? Did you believe that when Maresca was hired?
No. I mean the club separate from the managers. The Chelsea expectation should be to win the league every year. And same should be for Liverpool. Same should be for Man United.
Given their history,
given the history. That's what Diallo's saying.
No,
the history, I agree with him, but otherwise, I'm talking the beginning of the season. Chelsea are not expected to win the league. Man United are not expected to win the league. Liverpool are expected maybe to challenge, but the expectations is not to go and win the league. The word expectations mean if you
players, Man City are falling off just this once. Like this is your only chance, perhaps, for the next 5 years to win the league. Don't disappear.
I think maybe this season is a chance for the next 2 or 3 years, save obviously the length of Pep's contract extension. But I am fully expecting the second that Pep goes and we get a new manager in, there is going to be an insane drop off.
There has to be.
And I think some aren't expecting that.
Slot's proven there doesn't have to be a drop off from a well-functioning squad full of world-class players who've already won the league. You don't have to
I think it's more my coping mechanism than anything.
Yeah, but apart from
because of what we've been through with Pep.
Apart from 21-22, after they won it, Liverpool have only been in that's the only real serious title race they've been in. You know what I mean? I know they were ahead.
Okay.
Well, they were.
Let me finish this super chat system. Let me go through this quickly. Liverpool finished 5th. There was context. No. Was it unacceptable for a club to finish behind Arteta twice? Yes. Yes, there are some Liverpool fans
Yeah.
that wanted him out.
Yes.
Have you not seen, Nabil, have you not watched the Football Tourist?
Yeah.
We have seen people that set Klopp out live
Tom
on
Little said it.
YouTube.
Tom Little said it. Tom
Live,
Little said it.
Nabil,
Tom
yes.
Little said it, yeah.
Even with
Yeah,
the Champions League and the Premier League, they set Klopp out. He said it's time for a change.
Yeah.
Nabil, there was
Yeah.
when he didn't make the champ. They literally said he should be out when he finished fifth.
But he stayed and he did a good job the next season. He was in a title race.
Probably. Mo, one day I will come on and challenge you directly. Diallo, you're welcome.
Go on, Diallo, do that.
Anyone, you're welcome.
See that.
Another Arsenal, absolutely. I'll do a call-in show for only Arsenal soon.
You're going to be here for like 12 hours.
You muted yourself.
What serious club? This is the question. What serious club gives a coach 5+ years and not win the league title or the Champions League? None. It's unheard of. Arsenal move like Arteta is bigger than their club.
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Thank you for the super chat. I mentioned before we had 2 years in a pandemic. We have context to that. I think that where we came from is also context, and how we did it is also context. We didn't just spend 1.5 billion. We actually frugally bought unrated players and turned them into a pretty good team. Even now, most people would say that we don't have a very good squad relative to Man
So
City.
you saying
Liverpool.
players like Ødegaard is an unknown player?
Yeah, we got him on loan.
I will actually back him on that. Ødegaard failed at Real Madrid, loaned to Real Sociedad. His career was almost over. Arteta revived his career. Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
But I would also say this. In my opinion of Arsenal's owners, are they just happy to be in the top four again? Like, that's why they kept Wenger on
There's
for
this
so long.
trope about American owners. I don't believe that. Like,
No,
wanted
American
to
owners. Just the owners. It doesn't have to do with nationality. I'm just talking about they kept Wenger on so
It's
long.
the monetary value that brings. That's what they're happy with.
They kept
I did
Wenger
say
on
that
for
it
so
was
long. He finished
gross
top four.
negligence they didn't sign a striker that would complement our team, and I think that was a massive fail, which has set us up in a bad position. But they have won the NBA, the NHL, or every other competition available to them as owners.
Right.
They've won it, so they care about winning. I think it's important to them, but it's
Well,
not.
what have they done
that easy to
different
do
in them contexts as to what they've done with Arsenal?
What's that?
What have they done differently? Like, I don't follow them sports, but
they have
clearly
different
done something
systems. They
different
have
in-
what is it, the draft, and it's completely different sports basically. But
Forget American sports, guys.
Yeah, it's
Forget American. It's a completely different way of running the sport.
Yeah, then longer than Mo's Arsenal phone in if we start doing the American sports.
Yeah,
You're
bro,
going to be on that phone, aren't you, in December, just to troll?
rival fans want Arteta sacked more than Arsenal fans. Oh my God, dear.
No,
no.
It's not true.
Keep
It's not
bottling.
true. I want him to
See?
stay.
Look, all of a sudden they're just like, keep him.
Keep bottling.
Keep him.
Let's-
Yeah,
let's
just
keep
keep him.
Diallo, let me
hear
tell
your
you,
excuses.
objective conversations, Diallo. How long would you? I'm gonna ask you, Diallo, again. How long would you give Arteta without a Premier League or a Champions League? I want a simple answer, Diallo. How
As
long?
long as he boils piss, is a very, very good answer. Because the more you guys try and force it, the more I'm going to stick.
I think as long as he keeps his set piece, coach.
Keep going, Diallo. Keep sending us
Diallo
the chat.
is a Barca fan, by the way. He said that many times.
Can you tell? Can you not tell?
He's a
Barca fan.
Barcelona fan. He's a Barcelona fan.
I want to hear his excuses when he's in year 8.
He's a
And Arteta's
Barcelona
in year
fan.
8. I want to hear the same excuses when they haven't won anything. I want to
He's
hear it.
just an
8 years
outside
in.
observer, you know?
What, you
There's
can't-
Okay.
6,000.
He's saying, I am not talking
9.
about who has more. I'm not talking about who has more pressure, focus. No, you're talking about expectations. I am telling you, Diallo, Chelsea's expectations is not to win the Premier League. Man United expectations is not to win the Premier League. Liverpool expectations, maybe, but way less than Arsenal and Man City. Way less.
By the way,
And Arsenal.
Arsenal, you have to remember, Diallo, your club has put that, and your fans have put the pressure on yourself.
Diallo is a Barcelona fan, but
Oh,
we
sorry.
talk to him as he's an
Sorry.
Arsenal fan.
Yeah, sorry. Arsenal and their fans have put the pressure on themselves to win this year. They've had 2 years build up. Okay, the first year was a surprise one. They had the second one, but they built it up. They built it up after the season ended, all throughout the summer. This has to be our year. We got to 5 points to 2 points. We have to have a good summer window, and we have to, which they didn't. We have to build on it. We had to build on it for this year.
Okay. Let me find it. Worry when they say Arteta in like with Ten Hag. Wallahi, guys. Nabil, you think Mo sits on the channel here to say that he wants Arteta sacked because I hate Arsenal or because I'm not objective?
Mo, what do you do when you have to fill a show? You know, when you're like, what am I going to talk about today? What's your go-to?
When I talk about Chelsea,
No,
I talk about
when
Arsenal, Premier
when
League.
you need to like fill content, you know, who should we talk about today? What is there to talk about? There's only one thing to talk about. There's only one team in the title race.
But I explained that, and it's a ringtone now, Martin. It's a ringtone. I explained it why. By the way, I've spent 2 hours on the Ahwa once cooking Hamza when Man City lost and didn't talk about Arsenal once. That's 6 times in a row.
That deserves a bit.
It's great, right? AK saying Liverpool, top of the table in Europe and the Prem, best defense in Europe and in England. The job Slot has done is not spoken about enough. They will win the Premier League and the Champions League. I like the chest, AK. I like the chest. If Liverpool win the double, Slot already surpassed Jurgen Klopp. Fantastic then. Already surpassed the legacy of Jurgen
Does AK
Klopp.
believe they're in a title race, or is he a leopard in the tree?
No. AK has chest, not like the others, bro. He has chest, not like the other. Here you go, Redline Taranga with his leopard thing, Leopard Nation Rise. Here you go. Oh my God, bro. Come on, stop. AK, appreciate you, bro. You have chest. Appreciate you.
Has the Chelsea fan base accepted that they're in a title race yet, or is it still 50-50?
The Chelsea fan base is weird. I say we're in a title race, but they'll go. The reason we're not in a title race because we haven't got enough experience. Yet the next line they'll go, oh, but we'll be in one next year. So how are we going to be in one next year if we haven't got the experience yet? Do you know what I mean?
I'm obsessed with. People said I'm obsessed with Arsenal. Best players to replace Chelsea striker, goalkeeper if we had to. Striker, I'm gonna tell you, Pablo Osimhen. Get Osimhen, get Gyökeres, get someone like that. For goalkeeper, I don't know, Pablo.
There's 19 better ones in the league he's in right now, so pick any not one of them 19.
Get Sales or whatever thing from Brentford.
If you can get Verbruggen, that's a good one.
You know,
maybe you can buy Ederson from Man City. They're looking for money and they're looking for.
No, he's gone. He's
what about
Saudi.
that
He's going Saudi. He's got the bag.
I think he wanted that in the summer.
Yeah,
Diallo.
Can get it.
I'm not talking about yes. Okay, we did that. AK is saying difference is when Liverpool were competing for the Prem, they also reached 3 Champions League finals and won 8 trophies, including UEFA Champions League. Arsenal fans, we are not the same.
We're not.
AK, that is very true because you reached 3 Champions League finals, you won 1. So
Klopp is an amazing manager.
Klopp ahead of Arteta for sure, right? Yeah, like
easily.
Not easy, like not yet, unless Arteta wins something this season.
Unless you start some like what happens if Arteta wins the Premier League and Champions League double again, you know.
A statue. Put down the Wenger statue, put up Arteta.
Yeah, take it down. Yeah, take down the Wenger statue, put Arteta there. That's what you should do.
No, they can just be together, like holding up the.
Diallo saying, last super chat, guys, it will become apparent we need to sack him. Yes, which is when?
I
think when he leaves.
I think he walks. I don't think he ever gets sacked. I think he walks.
Exactly.
I never think he'll get sacked. I just don't.
If he loses the dressing room,
win the league this season, he's gone.
Okay, can he? Gone is like he's not gonna get sacked. He's not gonna get sacked.
He's gonna walk. He'd have to walk. He'd have to walk. He's not gonna.
But I think with are we on about Arteta here?
Yeah.
He's talking about Arteta.
I think Arteta is a too proud man to walk away.
So he's gonna get.
I think that's where the issue comes from it as well. I think he's too reluctant.
Do you know what? I don't think these owners. If he keeps finishing the top 4, I don't think his owners will ever sack him. It's a Wenger thing. It's a Wenger thing. I'm telling you right now. They're happy to finish in the top 4. If they get the trophy, they'll take a trophy. They'll take a trophy definitely whenever it pops up.
He lost.
Guys, there is 10 likes away from 200 likes, and we still have over 500 people here. Big up Martin, very balanced and not reactive.
You should see him backstage. He's totally different. He's shouting at us. He's shouting. The worst
guy, bro.
He was effing with me before we went live, and no one was here.
Disgusting language.
He was kicking off at me.
Yeah. He said, "Who's this Man City fan? Not another one. Where's mine? So I can verbally destroy him." That's what he said.
He was like, "At least there's more than 3 of yous."
Listen, guys, this is a fantastic show. Luke City TV in the description. Go and support Luke City TV. Great shows. Did a show yesterday with Big Steve. Great show. If you haven't watched that, go and watch the show. Of course, GTV is in the description as well, guys. Tonight, there might be Ahwa, there might be MHF, something like that. I might get cooked, I might not. But we'll see how it is. But now we're going to watch Man City.
Can I ask you, Mo, who do you want to win out of City and Juventus tonight?
City.
Okay, cool.
Never support Juventus.
Never.
You might be sadly.
Unless I only support Juventus if they're going against the team that is challenging me for the title, for example. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, always Juventus and the mud. The cheaters, the merda.
Juventus or Man United, Mo? Which one would you, if they were in the Champions League? Which one?
Man United, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Man United.
I like that.
I think.
Yeah, but let's go ahead.
I think it's going to be a draw tonight. I've just seen the lineup, and
The lineup is out.
yeah, it's an hour and 15.
You guys
For
very
all
good
the teams. The lineup, okay, good. Let's start. The lineups are out for all the teams.
Yeah, Edison, Watt, Diaz, Vardiol, Lewis, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Doku, Grealish, Haaland. But we have Cover and Foden on the bench, which is nice to see.
So no crisis for you then. What about Arsenal? I want to see the Arsenal line.
Raya, Partey, Saliba, Kiwior, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Marino, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus.
So Partey's fit.
Partey will be right back. Lewis Skelly left back, left centre back. Kiwior. So
Where's Havertz? He on the bench?
Havertz is on the bench. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus start. So I think he was trying to give Jesus.
Bro, they lied. They said Timber's injured, Partey's injured. One of the bench, one starting.
No, they said we've got 7 injuries.
It's all lies, bro.
But
It's all
some of the
lies.
players were
He
had a
lies
late fitness test.
again.
Have you heard of a late
He
fitness
lies.
test, Mo?
Huh?
They play one game and then they're out for another game. They have like a niggle. It's like they're injured. They're partially injured. We're just taping them together and throwing them out in the field.
You're doing a City injection things.
We've got no other players to play at the back.
Injection to play. Listen, guys, I want to thank everyone that joined us. Let's get to 1 like away from 200. Actually, that's shame. We should have been on 300 likes. And guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll see what happens today, and I will see you guys later. This will take you to HUSAM watch along when he's doing a City Juventus watch along. I'll see you guys there.
Cool.